It was not until the tournament had run its first 25 years that the Royal Navy became officially involved. In the centenary year of Nelson's death, with their lordships' consent, the programme of 1905 bore the new name the Royal Naval and Military Tournament. In fact, sailors had already appeared in the arena, never more dramatically than this entrance we see reenacted now. The year was 1900, and within weeks of the relief of Ladysmith, sailors and oxen dragged in one of the great 4.7-inch guns, which, removed from HMS Powerful and fitted with wheels, were hauled and lifted across the appalling terrain from Durban to Ladysmith to hammer the Boer positions with devastating long-range accuracy. It was from these original photographs that today's replica was built at HMS Excellent. 4.5 tons the weight of those monsters, created with typical Royal Navy skill and ingenuity, and brought to bear on their targets by sheer guts and determination. It was precisely those qualities which inspired the naval field gun competition exactly as we see it today, and as it was first seen at the tournament of 1907. There are 3 teams in the competition as a whole: Portsmouth, Devonport and the Fleet Air Arm. Each team runs 8 times against each of its rivals. In this heat, on the Royal Box side, the Fleet Air Arm; on your right, Devonport. The competition is in 3 phases: over and through the obstacles, the run out, the run back and the run home. And as you know, if you've seen it before, it's just about the toughest game ever invented. 18 men per team, and Lieutenant Commander Peter Higgs, the officer in charge, tells me that this year, as usual, there are about 1,200 volunteers for the 120 selected to embark on the 3-month training and final selection of 54. So, as you watch them suffer, remember, strong men have literally cried when they've failed to be picked for the team. The Air Arm are currently the holders of all 4 competition trophies and the record last year, 2 minutes 44.4 seconds. The Air Arm trainer CPO George Delaney, for Devonport CPO Teddy Francis, poised and ready. The weight of a family car, those field guns, 2,087 pounds, over the 5-foot home wall. Watch the limber go up in one piece. The leaders bracing their bodies to take the strain, and look how close it is. Devonport on the far side, just a whisker ahead, but no more than half a second in it. Up go the 170-pound spars. Across the 28-foot chasm, the next obstacle. And again, you would almost think they were working in formation rather than racing against each other. Desperate stuff, this. Those wheels weigh 1,200 pounds apiece. They treat them like toys. And still, there's nothing in it between the 2 teams. Over go the carriage. £900, that barrel. Dropped like a match. Last desperate yards to the enemy wall. Wheels off because, of course, the gap is just too narrow. And now the final run up to engage the enemy. 3 rounds rapid fire, and that will stop the stopwatch. And the firing of those 2 guns literally overlapped. There couldn't have been more than a second's difference between them. But now comes the minute checking, which is all part of the competition. Penalty points are added to the time for technical faults. But now we come up to the run back, which is virtually the run out in reverse. So, first, over the enemy wall. Again, up go the leading spars on the limber. Wheels run to the ramp. it's no mean feat to toss one of those spars across the 28-foot chasm. Again, there's literally nothing in it. 360 pounds, that load being carried. 900 pounds the weight of the barrel. Nearly a hitch for the Fleet Air Arm, but no, they've recovered. And Fleet Air Arm are just a fraction ahead at this stage, but again, they can be less than a second. No, it's Devonport on the far side, just in the lead. About 6 feet, the distance between them. Again, the gun will signal the stopping of the watches. And again, the firing literally overlaps. Those 6 rounds you heard were 3 racket from each gun. Well, I know how you feel, mate. Even watching it takes your breath away. You see the shells being checked. That could cost technical points if they haven't been correctly fired, but certainly I heard 6 bangs go off there. And I would say that it is very, very close indeed. And he's still got the run home ahead of him. And in many ways, that's the hardest bit of running in the whole thing, as you'll see. Right, the run home, Fleet Air Arm nearest, Devonport on the far side, virtually nothing between the two teams. The 363-pound limber lift and launch floated through the gap. Wheels on, pins in, and now the sprint for the finish. Devonport just ahead on the far side. Fleet Air Arm outrunning him to the finish. And it has to be the Fleet Air Arm, less than half a second, surely, between them on that last phase. But remember, as I told you, the penalty is decided by the total time taken, plus additional penalty points, and the corrected time. Devonport, 2:52.3. Fleet Air Arm, 2 minutes, 49.9 seconds. A mere 2.4 seconds, total difference over all 3 phases, and the crowd loves it. Well, after all that excitement, let's turn back.